The main convention I noticed when researching music magazines of my chosen genre of DJ and dance music was that the masthead was always placed at the top of the page in a bolder and different font to the rest of the text on the page. This was done in order to stand out and catch people's eye. I used the same convention on my magazine, which is called Spin Mag, as the word spin relates to my chosen genre of music. I used a similar sans serif font to Mix Magazine's masthead, which I found on Dafont's website. I also made mine a contrasting colour to the background. This shows audiences my magazine follows the same structure and theme as Mix Magazine. I felt that not only did it stand out, but also looked best placed there. Another convention I noticed which was popular among DJ and Dance magazine was the skyline, which was situated above the masthead in a contrasting colour to the background it had been placed against. I used this convention on my magazine cover but placed the skyline behind a white box instead, challenging the convention on real media products. I placed a white box behind my skyline as I felt it stood out a huge amount more and was a lot more noticeable, but also improved the overall presentation of my magazine cover. When analysing contents pages, I noticed a number of images were always used. I have followed this convention by using several images in my contents page. The use of images on my contents page helps attract attention and also gives readers a break from reading. I have edited the largest image on the page to give it a traditional dance look. The image is of a black figure surrounded by prominent colours consisting of red, orange and white. The subheadings on my contents page have been placed in a bolder font in order to stand out and inform readers of the different sections situated in my magazine. This is another convention that was popular amongst the music magazines I looked at, as it gave the page a clear presentation and looked more organised. My overall contents page follows a conventional structure to the institution Mix Magazine's contents page. The images on the cover of music magazines I looked at always link to the main story in the magazine. I adopted this into my own work and also made the cover image link to the main story in my magazine. I used the same model and made sure I had a variety of images of my model to choose from. To inform readers about this, I placed a cover line of the artist's name next to the main image in a bold and different font to the rest of the text on the cover. The headlines on the various double-page spreads I analysed were often bolder than the rest of the font, in order to stand out and grab the reader's attention, in addition to informing them on what the article or interview on the page was going to be about. I felt this was a very important feature to include, so I have also included a bold headline on my double-page spread. I have used a bold sans serif font as well as highlighting important words within the headline to catch readers' attention. My double-page spread includes a short introduction to the interview, as some readers may not know who the artist is just from the image displayed on the page. This is a conventional feature which all the double-page spreads I have analysed included. I have replicated a similar arrangement to Mix Magazine's double-page spread by covering one side of the page with a large image and text on the other. However, rather than placing various conventions on top of the music magazines I looked at I have left it clear and stuck to just placing a quote over the top. This was another convention that was popular amongst magazines I looked at. My media product represents a younger modern social group. This is done through the mise en scène. My model is wearing a bright green dress with slits in, this appealing a great deal more to a younger audience. I have used a young Asian female model as my artist to appeal to a larger mixed audience. This is a positive representation as the model on the cover is directly addressing the audience, and the way she is posing with a serious face and her hands at her hips connotes dominance to audiences and also goes against the stereotype of DJs being male. This would appeal more to a female audience. I have used conventional colours for my magazine genre and stuck to a colour scheme of black, white and bright pink. The use of the colour pink and the flash of colour from the larger image on my contents page creates an energetic and fun atmosphere, representing the genre of the music as well as representing a younger, predominantly female social group. Mixmag is distributed by Hell Development Ltd. I have incorporated similar conventions from both Mixmag and DJ Mag into my final product, and feel that my product would be better suited to be distributed by the companies that distribute these two magazines. My magazine Spin Mag follows a funky and striking layout, therefore would be perfect to be distributed by Held Development Limited, which distributes Mix Magazine. DJ Magazine is distributed by Intergroove. It is a worldwide magazine, and I feel that if my magazine was also to be distributed by this company, it would be able to reach a larger audience in addition to having experience and knowledge in my chosen genre of music. My magazine targets an audience of 16 and above. My original results for my pie chart were 16 to 21, but I feel that the genre of music has an elder and maturer fan base too. I got this impression from the age of the most current DJs and producers, which are a lot older. From what my model is wearing on the cover, I think would appeal to a younger, more fashionable audience, as she's wearing a bright green dress with slits in it. And also my overall product has a quite modern look. For example, the various fonts I have used, in addition to the bright colours throughout. My magazine would be published monthly and include a lot of information on the latest events and music news, so it would target people who enjoy going to these events, which are often people in their late teens and early 20s. The magazines I analysed attracted audiences in many different ways. For example, by including boosts to entice readers. I included boosts in my magazine as I thought it would be a good way to keep readers interested. I noticed that Mix Magazine put shadows behind their text on the cover to help the text stand out more. I liked the look of this convention, so I incorporated this into my magazine, as well as using prominent colours for various pieces of text. I felt that this was effective and helped the text to become more noticeable to readers. The clothes worn by artists on the magazines of my chosen genre of music were often black or white. However, I challenged this and put my model in a bright green dress, as I felt it would be a lot more eye-catching, in addition to appealing to a younger audience. I included buzzwords on my cover such as free and plus to draw readers in and highlighted them in larger fonts. The buzzwords I used provided an incentive for readers and kept them motivated to read on. The images I have used throughout my media project have been directly addressing audiences. I made sure that on pages such as the cover and double page spread, images where the artist was looking directly into the camera were used, in order to create a relationship with readers. The results from my questionnaire showed that consumers would be willing to pay £1 to £2 for my product. However, the second most popular answer was £2 to £3, which I felt was a lot more appropriate, so I priced my magazine at £3. I felt this was a reasonable price for my target audience. Whilst going through the process of creating my magazine, I used software such as Photoshop, InDesign and WordPress to post all of my work onto the blog. I found that Photoshop was great for putting my magazine contents page and front cover together. It allowed me to quickly edit and change different areas of my magazine. I used a Canon's camera to take my images. One of the biggest difficulties I came across was editing my images. The original lighting in them was quite dull, so I really had to brighten them up and improve the quality by increasing the contrast and brightness and using the levels tool. The tool on Photoshop which was very helpful throughout this process was the dust and scratches tool, which made my images look a lot less pixelated. InDesign was used as an alternative to Photoshop to construct my double page spread. I found it was easier to use than Photoshop as there was a lot more text that would be included. Overall, since the beginning of this project, I have become a lot more comfortable at using software such as Photoshop and InDesign and have improved my skills a considerable amount more on them. For example, I can now confidently edit images using Photoshop. In the progression of my preliminary task to the full project, I feel that I have learnt it is important that the images you use clearly connote what the magazine is about. I did this in my preliminary task. For my final project, I used images where the model was holding vinyl records, also posing in dance positions to reinforce the genre. Another thing that I have learnt is it is important to make sure that there are not any empty spaces on the page. This makes the page look unprofessional and as though something is missing. I improved and edited the pages of my magazine several times and tried to carry a similar layout and house style throughout. If I could have done anything differently, I would probably have improved the presentation of my front cover. I would have played around with the layout of the text and perhaps changed a few things such as the background.